Hi guys, welcome to this video. This is another making the most of the Clan Pestilens Start Collecting box for Age of Sigmar. I've done a couple of these so far. Just keep doing more because I keep finding cool things that you can do with the models that are in that kit. Right then, and I did a short video of this, but I've decided to make it into a making the most of video because I think it's awesome. So you've seen me talk about how you can turn the Plague Furnace into another Plague Claw. You can probably do vice versa. You've seen me turn the Plague Monks, which is what this kit is made of, into Plague Censer Bearers as well, which are really expensive resin models. And all sorts of little bits and bobs. I'll try and remember to put a little card up there and a link in the description to those other making the most of videos. But in this one, I wanted to show you guys how you can really go full scryer with the with the box set. So in there, as you know, is a Plague Claw kit. The Plague Claw kit also works as the Warp Lightning Cannon. So that's one. That's making it basically into scryer. Of course, the Plague Furnace can also be turned into a Screaming Bell model, which isn't Pestilens. I'm not sure that one's... no, that one isn't Scryer, but it's certainly not Pestilens. And this last one, basically, is how you can make the Plague Monks, these little fellas, into a Scryer unit, which is the Poison Wind Mortar teams. In this instance, I'm calling them the Plague Wind Mortar teams. As you can see, there's a little plague sensor in there. It's going to be full of all sorts of plagues and goodness, which are usually attached to chains and swung around. But in this instance, they're going to be launched with this big old piece of elastic here up into the air and come crashing down on the enemy. So I really like the way this theme fits in with the rest of my Pestilens army. And to be honest, there's something to be said for this particular unit. Now, I won't go into the specifics, but basically, it's much, much better than running Plague Claw catapults. Now, they don't hit as easily as a Plague Claw catapult does, and they don't do as much damage, arguably, if they do hit. But they got the same armor penetration, and you can get 3 of these for the same price as a Plague Claw catapult. Now, I've done the maths, and they're almost twice as effective. So they have the same AP as the Plague Claw catapult, which is -2 on the rend. So anything with a 4 up has not got much chance of defending these guys. Now, Plague Claw catapult, if you've got 11 or more models, 11, that's important, then they hit on a 2 instead of a 3, and they do 2d6 damage. Average, of course, being 7 damage. Now, these guys, they hit on a 3, on a 4 and then a 4, usually, instead of the 3 and 3 of the Plague Claw catapult. But if you've got 10 or more, 10, not 11, not many people take 11 models. They either take 10, 15, or 20. These guys, if you've got 10 or more, then they hit on a 3, then a 4, and they do normally d6 damage, so that's half of what you get from the Plague Claw catapult. However, if you've got 20 models in the target unit, these guys do a flat 6 damage, which is awesome. Which is fantastic for Hordes. Now, Hordes don't tend to have that much of an armor save, so the -2 on this is negating anything you're likely to see from any Hordes, really. So all you've got to do is hit and wound, and as long as the unit's 20 plus, you're dealing 6 damage per one of these guys. Now, in a 2,000 point army, I can actually ally in 6 of these, which is why I've built 6. And they can really wreck some face. Easy to hide as well. They can basically shoot over things. They don't need to be in line of sight to be able to shoot at them, so you can hide them behind a ruin or a tree and just let rip. The range is up to 30 inches. You have to basically do a roll and potentially take damage if you want to do up to 30. I think other than that, the range is 20, but who cares? That's 20-inch range. On 6 of these guys, that means I've got 6 opportunities to hit, and each one of them, if the target unit is big enough, is doing 6 damage. That'll really whittle any Horde army down to manageable numbers for my plague monks and my censer bearers to run in and wreck face. So yeah, it's a really simple conversion. Basically, you use 2 staffs. Sorry, I went on for far too long then talking about the actual unit as opposed to how I've made them. So there's 2 plague monks, as you can see here. This foot has been bent down. The reason for that is because the one at the back has been shortened, and it gives this nice sort of leaning back pose, a bit more of a wide foot stance, which gives the idea of it pulling the elastic down. I haven't cleaned them up yet. There's some cleaning up to be done, and of course they're not stuck to these bases, which is making them fall over all the time. So you take 2 staffs. You have to do a little bit of work to one of the hands. You take either one of the hands that's holding a gong or a knife. You cut the knife or the gong bit off, or even use it, and then extend it with a normal staff, and that gives you these 2 staffs leading up. This guy is sort of hunched back, as you can see, and then again you use 2 hands. Well, they can be a staff hand, they can be a knife hand, whatever. You just chop off whatever they're holding in their hand and bring them in like that. And as you can see, there's a little bit of you can't see it particularly on that one, but if I bring this one over here, you can see I've bent the wrists a little, like that there. Excuse me, I've got a bit of a cold at the moment, so my voice is going a bit weird. I have to bend the wrists slightly, but they've all fallen over now, haven't they? In order to get it holding the things correctly. And this is how they look. So, yeah, it's nice and easy. And to cover up the top here, you basically use some of the little banner things to make it look like the ribbon has been nailed in, and the ribbon comes down like that. Sorry, I am properly losing my voice at this point, as you can probably hear. But I wanted to get this video out to you guys, so I'm going to carry on. My voice has gone proper weird. But I wanted to share basically how you can make these little dudes out of the Start Collecting box, or even out of a Plague Monk box, which can give you some proper value for money, because that's what these these videos are about, to be honest. Making money, or rather, making the most, it's in the name, of the kits you buy, and getting lots of cool different units that you wouldn't normally be able to. Of course, the GW model for this was available in one of the box sets, the one that had the Skaven and the Elves. It escapes my mind. But you can't buy that anymore, which means that you can't get these guys unless you go on eBay, and they're going for ridiculous amounts of money, sometimes £10 per guy, and I've just made 6 out of just over half of a box of Plague Monks. So that's that's why I wanted to share it with you guys, and that's why I'm going to carry on doing it with this weird voice. Wow. Right, yeah, I'm going to end it here then before I lose my voice completely. So keep up with me over here in between videos. Thank you very much for watching, and hopefully my voice comes back. You'll see me in the next one. Stay well, guys.